Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with occasional review. Today's video is going to be a quick talk about how I'm failing already. So for those of you who are new, welcome. I am failing at my planning already, and a lot of times when that happens, you have to sit down and you have to like reevaluate what you're trying to do. You need to make adjustments. You have to figure out something. I pretty much know why I'm failing, but I thought I would just kind of sit down, do a quick update, and talk you through what's going on, because people probably find themselves in my situation or something similar to it. So let's get started. The first thing is that I am talking about my A5 Slim. I had to think about it for a moment. Jibun Techo Days. So this is, I have mentioned before, similar to a traveler's notebook, except without the strings. It's like a folio situation. It's exactly a folio situation, but plastic. So not as expensive if you're, used to buying leather. You have two notebooks that you can go ahead and tuck into these front pockets here, which are awesome. And I haven't bought a cover for this or anything because I didn't know if I was going to stick to it. And I kind of like the plastic cover that it comes with because I can change out pictures and it's nicey nice. So I was really worried about this because last year I had a Hobonichi cousin, and I felt like the reason why I failed on that is because it was the full year and it was like a phone book thick, not like today's phone books, but old school phone book thick. And it was really hard to pair with other things, which is what I wanted to do. And it was just not the right size to carry. So I decided this year, this was not going to be my everyday carry. No everyday carry. This was going to be my kind of at home planner where I did my daily stuff that I needed to get done at home, like chores and other things. If I needed to make phone calls or write emails, if I needed to work on some type of education or learning a new program. Sometimes I go into Canva and I learn how to do new things on there, and I just need to write a note about, hey, this is where you find these things. Especially if you're starting a blog for the first time and you've never used the platform before. I was thinking about doing a Wix one, something like that. That's basically what this was going to be for. And then my Hobonichi Weeks was going to be my everyday carry. I'm going to start writing some things down and going through this as I tell you my story. That way I'm getting like stuck on here. You have something pretty to look at as I speak to you guys for a moment. I just have like a hair on here. I don't know. So this is my Daldi pouch. I like it. It carries a bunch of things and it will post like this so that it doesn't fall over and drive me crazy, and it's just nicey nice. And I really love this thing. I do want to get some more of these. I am currently using my Sarasa. These are the vintage set. So I have both of them in here with some friction highlighters and the friction gray. It's one out of the set. What is this set called? The Friction Light, I suppose. Natural color. And let's see, what else do I have in here? Let's just go through this, shall we? I have my friction in a friction knock in a 0.4, a pencil, mechanical, and then of course this baby is fantastic, and I use it pretty much in every planner because it kind of is like a universal pen that works in any planner. So do the friction pens, but if you're talking about non-friction, I think this one works best, especially on the Tomoe River paper because it's a 0.3, so it dries very quickly and I don't have too many smearage issues. Okay, reasons for failing. They're actually not really too much in my control. So this planner starts, for those of you who don't know, in January. Actually, January 1st. That's the first day you can move in here. There are no months before the new year. It also, the monthly starts on January, as you can see here. At the, this doesn't even have it. So at the beginning, I want to say more than the middle of December 2021, which is last month in case you're watching this in the future, my sister got sick. And then after that, my uncle passed away. And he died of a heart attack, which, no one can plan for. And it's always such an incredible loss and shock. So my family was going through things. and I was pretty much just trying to get whatever I could done without having to write things down. I was just kind of going through the motions, and it was a lot. So part of the reason why I'm failing this is because I have no time to sit down and plan. I was really kind of adjusting to kind of my new schedule due to my sister's illness, and it was just I was a hot mess. And I feel like people understand that. We're totally okay now. So thank you in advance for those people who are going to mention it. Gonna be okay. So basically in here, I started this and I was already pretty numb and going through a lot, and I was just trying. I was like, Sylvia, just try. I know that you don't really know what exactly is going to go on, but write some things down. So I did that for the second day. Third day, I completely fell off. I just didn't have any time to plan. I was just trying to do things whenever I had time. And so part of this situation, my sister being ill, which, I mean, it's her business. It's nobody's business. I'm just mentioning it because it's, you know, within my planners. I have to take her and drop her off for very long sessions. And so I have to drive her into the bigger town, which is a half-hour drive. And then I drive back, and then I pick her up, you know, 3, sometimes 4 hours later. And that's another half hour there, half hour back. So that's 2 hours of sitting. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I have sitting issues. My sitting time is limited because I have back issues, and I am a writer. So I have very, very precious time when it comes to sitting. So I've kind of been slowing down on doing anything really writing as much. I've been trying to stand a little bit more here and there to type, which isn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's what I had to do because 2 hours 3 times a week was going to picking up my sister. When she was very, very sick, I had to pick up the kids in the morning and take them to school, as you can see there. And then I was picking up Jade because she's at basketball practice, and then dropping her off. So it was an adjustment, but I think I've got a handle on it, and this is not forever. It's probably just for the rest of this month, beginning of next month, and then, you know, hopefully it'll just be fine. So since I was like failing at this, I was like, what am I going to do? I'm such a loser. I totally came here to day 4 and 5, and I sort of tried to write out kind of a schedule here, schedule for sessions that are early for my sister, and then more of a midday session. So early morning sessions start at 9, which means we have to leave here by at least 8:30-ish. And then the midday sessions start at 12-ish, 12:30, depending. They usually call her, and then I have to leave about a good 20 to 35 minutes before in order to get there on time. And it's just been depending on the weather. At the beginning of the month here in Colorado, this situation sucked because it snowed so much, like every day, and it was really stupid, and it took forever to get in town and back. And I was basically just sitting there and staying because I didn't think I would be able to make it in enough time. It was like, what's the point? Because our sessions started kind of small and then they grew. So I've gone ahead and I've remember I got these guys, and they're so darling. I love them. I went ahead and I put them throughout even the days I didn't actually use this planner. We are currently, I should mention that, on the 12th, which is a Wednesday, and I went ahead and put the sticker for tomorrow on here. So I have, let's see, I have one day, oops, these are 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days that are not used in here. Now, I wanted to talk to you about, like, if you get into a situation where this happens, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. There are a couple things that you can do. So you can go ahead and use these as extra list pages, kind of like a bullet journal. You can go ahead and say 112 is this page number, and go ahead and make a list if you want to. And I thought about that, but I already have, again, you probably have seen the setup video for this, my short-term notebook here in the front where I can make short-term lists if I want to, and then long-term for lists I want to keep a lot longer than a month. So I can do that, or I can do what I did here, not here, sorry, here, and kind of do my mapping out of when I can do writing and when I am driving, and you know, where do I have time to make dinner and things like that, depending on what session it is. Or you can go ahead and you can collage these days, because why not? Just go ahead and collage them and put a little quotage or some type of wordage if you want to. It just depends on what you want to do here. And if you're someone who can doodle, I don't doodle, you can certainly do that on these empty pages. It's not that serious. I'm trying not to freak out because I'm like, man, I'm already failing already. No one's failing. I'm just not using them. And this is the beauty of a bullet journal, because if you were in this situation, then all you had to do is, like, you know, not draw out that day. But this is a pre-dated planner, so we have to roll with the punches. This was, let's see, we're right here. So the day before, I actually planned in here like a normal person. And that was the first day since, what, the second? Yeah. So I went ahead, and I should talk through this, shouldn't I? Over here, I wrote that in this little space, let me show you what it looks like. Just blank there. I could write thoughts on the weather, or I could write a word of the day, or anything right there. There's a nice amount of space. I feel like if you circle one of these or check one of them, I don't know that I really need to know that it was cloudy if the little icon shows me that it's cloudy. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about what to put there. I have like a space here for top 3 or just top to-dos in general. There's, I believe, 4. This one's kind of at the top, cut off a little bit, so you can do top 4, but I thought 3 would work the best. Then I have morning session here because that's what the timeline is for this, and then midday session over here. I thought that this would be a nice space up here to do some vocab, or like a quote from a movie or a TV show that you watched for the day that you thought was funny. I also put people quotes because sometimes you're like in the grocery store and somebody will say something and you're like, that person's hilarious, or you just want to quote them here so that you can mention that maybe in dialogue, because again, I'm a writer, so I think in that way. I put over here, because these are just like the tick boxes, so the to-do area, that I could write notes for the day, anything I wanted. If I wanted to do a little bit of journaling, people have done that certainly in the Hobonichi cousin. I see them do that. They all divide things into a timeline or a time ladder, and then journaling. Of course, I put notes for Duolingo, and I have done none of that. None of it, because people have been sick and passing away, and it's just sad. But yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. I can still, like, I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh my gosh, now I can't do this for the rest of the year. Like, it's totally fine. When I get some time, I'm going to figure it out and get back on it, because I still have the goal of reading in Spanish for this year and starting a new language. And I already have a book picked out to do that. But again, I got off track because my December, if you're like me, I use December as that month where everything I failed at, I'm going to try to get done. And that didn't work out very well because the universe laughed and was like, no, you're not. So after that, what else was I going to mention? Oh, I thought quote of the day could go down here because there's a nice space. Of course, you have your smiley, your meh, and your sad face. So this could just be about your health if you wanted to. But I thought, well, if I didn't want to track that in here because it's a little bit more personal and I like to share my planner with you guys, maybe I would do a quote of the day. And I did that for going the wrong way. Here because I was watching Pretty Little Liars, and this one is like 2 back-to-back favorite quotes from Pretty Little Liars. This is season 3, episode 3. So this one's from Hannah. It's like a big bowl of spaghetti that's all tangled. Have you ever tried to untangle spaghetti? Hannah's just the best. And then Lucas, maybe I could have a lot of emotionally unstable friends. So I thought that was funny and I put them in there, and I just wanted to try that out, and I actually like the way it looks. I am really stressed out by using these guys in here because I have had to sit in a car and do a little bit of writing here and there. I'm mostly focusing on writing than planning because I have deadlines for that. So I have been trying to use these pens in my other planner, my writing planner, and it's just like a lot to sit in a car and have all these pens. And I kind of wish I just only had one pen and didn't make the commitment to try out using color, which I love. I love using color. You don't have to use highlighters. But there's just like a lot of them. And even though they sit nice in here, sometimes I just felt like I had a lot of shit to carry, which I wasn't planning on carrying. But again, I was sitting in a car for a few hours at a time and I needed to keep busy. So there's that. Up at the top here, I kind of was marking the days I had to take my sister into her sessions, and so that I could see that, and I didn't feel like I needed to repeat that over here because I could just see it on one spread. Does that make sense? So I haven't done it here yet because it's early in the morning and I'm going to do this in a little bit. But yeah, that worked out well too. Of course, I had some tasks here, and then I made a line because I thought, oh, this day is the day I'm going to figure out Duolingo and sit down and see where I'm at. And I just got busy just doing other things, like simple things that I took for granted, like doing the dishes and stuff that were piling up because I'm still not used to the schedule, and I feel like I'm tired all the time. And I know part of that is because of my anxiety disorder, and when there's a loss and you get really bad news about other things, it's just like you get some depression and you feel like you're tired all the time when in reality you're just incredibly stressed. So I'm starting to come out of that, thank the universe, and that's where I am right now. So I don't know. How are you guys doing when you're planning? Have you had any hiccups already when you thought this is just going to work out, and then the universe throws a wrench into the mix and you're like, damn, well, that sucks. Let me know down below. I think I'm going to go ahead and actually do collages on these pages and then just put some quotage, you know, in these two spreads here. Instead of having a list, because I have plenty of paper in these notebooks that are inside. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will come back and show you, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm going to change up because I've already been in this planner for what, almost 2 weeks. So I have some things I want to do differently on the monthly because mine looks kind of junky. I love it when people are just so neat at writing things and they can just figure, like mine looks tragic a little bit, and I just think that's hilarious. And we're just going to adjust, and hopefully next month it will look cleaner. Especially this down here. This is one thing that I want to remember for next time. I did more of a Gantt chart situation where I'm trying to block off each week that I have to read a book, because I'm trying to read 52 books in 52 weeks. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm trying to do that, and then I feel like a jackass because I probably should have went by the weeks in the year, which didn't start on January 1st. It started on what? I think December 27th or something like that. So I think next month I'm going to start doing it by the weeks of the year. That's the one thing they don't mark on here. So I marked it myself where it's week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which only has one day right here. But they do have that here. So like, let's go to the first day, shall we? Yeah, so the first day of the first week of the year started on December 27th through January 2nd. You can see that there. So I think I want to be following this up here for how long I have to finish a book. And the really cool thing is that since they do have this up here at the top, you can go ahead and pre-plan and see your schedule by marking things up here at the top. So I might use a different color or like a signifier, like a triangle or something, or just a square so that I know that this is the date I have to finish the book by. And I have allowed myself, because 52 books in 52 weeks doesn't seem that crazy. And then if you've never read that many, then it does. I think as long as I allow myself to also do audiobooks and physical books, I'll be perfectly fine. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just got off and I thought I was gonna go ahead and set this up, and then I got busy doing something else. Then people called to talk about how they have COVID, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get tested tomorrow because people are dropping like flies here. Anyway, the point is I'm not going to go ahead and collage this right now and then come back and end this video because I just got confirmation that my AliExpress order is here. I have an AliExpress haul that I ordered a little bit after my last planner haul, so it doesn't count, those rules aren't real. And so I'd rather unbox that right now instead of coming back and talking more about this. So the next time you see this planner, I will have my everyday carry, which is my Hobonichi weeks, to show you how they compare and how I use them together, all right? And hopefully I'll have more planning in here and things will be getting better. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.